Okay, quick follow-up to last week's video on Kevin Warsh, who I suggested I was afraid might cause a crash. Is this the crash? No, probably not. But I keep envisioning him at that press conference with like big bold letters stamped right on his forehead saying, "Crash me." He's really asking for trouble with this chest-thumping inflation credibility stuff. Now, I know there's a vocal contingent on X and elsewhere saying the Fed is losing credibility, they need to hike rates, they shouldn't have cut last year, blah, 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 blah. Let's not get into that debate. I'm here to tell you that the market is not going to let them hike rates 3 times. If that's what he has in mind, he better change his mind, because it's going to be a shit show of monumental proportions. The fact of the matter is, it's simply too late in the cycle. After 3 years of nominal growth at 5.3% on final sales, as I've said 100 times in this venue and others, you're in a steady state. You can't lower that by 75 basis points to get inflation down from 2.7 to 2.0. Okay? The next time we hit 2.0 core PC inflation will be in the next recession. So if you really want to get inflation down to 2.0, we can have a recession. And the market's, I think, rightfully worried that that was sort of what Warsh told us the other day. So again, we're late cycle. The economy is almost solely dependent on this AI CapEx boom. If you take the AI CapEx proxies in business investment in GDP, that's IT equipment, software, and R&D, it's accelerating dramatically, and everything else in fixed investment is flat for 3 years. So you want to make that crowding out problem worse by raising rates? You want to take a pole to the housing market, hit it in the head a few times? For what? Just let this thing burn out at this point. So we've got SpaceX issues $75 billion in equity, 25 in debt. Who's next? We don't know. They're issuing 25 billion in debt like it's nothing. The market's taking it fine. It all works if there's abundant liquidity in the system. But what's happening now? The dollar index has bottomed. Euro dollar has topped. So we have 2 strong signals that the dollar is through resistance and is now set to rally. If we decompose the 10-year, the real yield is like 235 now, and the break-even's, I think, 221. So you've got those going the wrong way. Real yield's going up, break-even coming down. You could now say, based on the historical spread between CPI and PCE, it's targeting below mandate inflation for 10 years. So what are we doing? The yield curve is flattening sharply last week. All these things suggest it's going to be a mistake. Okay, it is too late in the cycle to pull liquidity out without expecting an accident. And what's now driving the cycle is wholly dependent on abundant liquidity. So I would just sit back and let the thing burn itself out. It's going to be a problem one way or the other. Do we really need to exacerbate the problems in housing and plain old normal non-tech business investment? I don't think it's a good idea. But, this is where we're at. We'll see. We have John Williams on Thursday. Very interested to see if he tries to do a cleanup on aisle 3 for the new chairman and say, whoa, we're not talking about hiking rates. Because, again, the FOMC voting contingent is heavily in favor of being on hold. So I think the message was misconstrued, but I don't know what is in Kevin Warsh's head. And again, as I said last week, the guy makes me nervous. And now he's making the market nervous too. And if they continue down the path, you should be nervous as well. Good luck out there.